Welcome back to Clear Talk. On this episode, we're going to talk about how to create effective Facebook ads for your business.
And then we discuss our proven method for scheduling days and how you can know what to prioritize first in your business.
And lastly, what I look for in a person when I'm interviewing them to know if they're the right fit for my team. By the way, let us know in the comments down below, how do you schedule your days in your business? Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Clear Talk. I'm your host, Armin Shaffi. This is my co-host,
Jeanette Odero.
And this is the #1 show for entrepreneurs and coaches who need clarity on their business and in their marketing so that they can learn how to build a profitable coaching business and turn their passion for helping others into a coaching business. Now, we have construction going on in the background, as you can hear that right now. And we're going to close the door so that you guys, this is a real time for the show.
I didn't even see them. I didn't even see them.
No, I heard them outside. I just didn't know they could be inside, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Our microphone's good enough to get good audio, so it doesn't make a big difference.
Awesome.
All right, so it's going to be a good show today. We're going to answer as many questions as possible. Remember, guys, if you're watching this right now, if you want your questions answered on the show, all you got to do is go to askarmin.com, and we're going to be free coaching you on this show every single Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. All you got to do is ask a question that you want coaching on in terms of your coaching business, your life, maybe it is personally, how to balance personal life and business at the same time.
Yep.
Marketing, anything about your business and your life you need help with, we'll answer on the show for free. Thousands of dollars worth of free coaching if you just go to askarmin.com and post your questions there. Now, if you're on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button, then little notification bell if you want to get weekly videos on how to grow your coaching business or start it and become a profitable coach helping other people. Make sure you subscribe. We bring out videos every single week. Now, if you're on Facebook, I want you to hit that share button if you want to help other people get into the show and also share this message with them so they can have a good time with us. And hit that like button as well and share this show. And if you're on Instagram, by the way, let us know by Instagram DMing someone. By the way, Lauren, could you come hook us up with the Zoom over here? And so Instagram DM this to somebody so they can join us as well. I'm going to just zoom in. Yeah, like we always do. So let's run into this weekend.
Yeah, how was your weekend?
It was good.
What'd you get into?
I have friends.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's a big breakthrough.
Apart from us?
I have a friend.
A single friend.
Well, you guys are like family. But he's like a family too to me.
Yes.
You know, I was hanging out with Daniel. He's actually one of my clients and speaking of clients, but he's also like a longtime friend of mine.
Yes.
And so we hung out for like a whole day yesterday, and we just masterminded and talked, and it was amazing. It was like a date, like a bromance date.
Aw, Daniel. You guys are bros.
Now, I've known him for a long time. He's actually, believe it or not, Daniel was my first ever coach in public speaking, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like he was my first time ever when I went into like network marketing.
Yes.
He was the first person to help me. Like I was like stuttering on a stage in front of like 2 people. And sorry, it wasn't a stage, it was a home event, and I was in front of 2 people.
Stage.
I was in front of 2 people and I was like hesitant.
Yeah.
And he helped me like get over it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, that was a good weekend for me, and just kind of laid back and had fun. You know, by the way, for some people, I wonder like, yo, what do you do when you want to take a break, Armin? Like, how do you take a break from working? Do you work all the time? I actually had this question asked on Saturday for Reborn.
Yes.
We had a crazy Reborn segment.
Nuts.
It was my favorite one. I was talking about all the traits of like, I was talking about going deep into the science of drifting and hypnotic rhythm with it, which if you guys are a fan of Napoleon Hill, that's from Outwitting the Devil, and it was deep. For like 4.5 hours straight, I was coaching all my students and my clients in Reborn. Yeah. But I had someone ask me like, so when do you take a break? And I want you to know this. If you're building a business right now, in the beginning, until you've reached a certain milestone where your business is making consistent sales, you shouldn't be taking breaks. Like it's like a burst. Like you should be working until you hit your goal. when you hit your goal, now you set a new goal, but in between that, because you've achieved a level of like a milestone, a level of success, now you talk about the balance. But in the beginning, it's all really obsession. If you look at billionaires, you can't be like, this guy reads 8 hours a day. Well, it's because he also has an entire empire of a system.
Yeah.
In the beginning, he would sleep in his office. If you look at, Elon Musk, he would literally say he showered in, like he didn't shower. He would take soap and water from the sink in the washroom of his office, put it on his armpit.
Prison showers.
Like he would do like prison showers. That's what it's called.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, at the sink.
But he was sleeping in his office. Now he might go off for a week with his, with his family or whatever. He was sleeping in his office in the beginning. Yeah. So don't kid yourself. If you're starting a business, if you're in the beginning stages, think about it like this. If you haven't reached a certain consistency of, $20 to $50 or $100,000 a month yet, you should not be talking about how do I take a break. Don't take a break. Now, if you have a family, that's different. Like, balance your family time. I'm not saying don't, but you're going to have less of it. If you're serious about your business, you're going to have less of it. So, in the beginning of anything, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of commitment. There should be no talks of breaks. Like, why are you talking about breaks? So, yes, I went the entire weekend this weekend. I had fun. Like, after Reborn, I went to the spa, and I had a good time. I was sitting there, and I got to watch shows, and I was just hanging out. And it's like, you can't compare where I'm at with somebody who's like just starting out.
Naturally.
Because I've worked on I've had the nights, like my team has walked in, I'm sleeping on the floor in my office, I've had I've lost count of how many nights I've left this place past like 2 a.m. I've lost count. And I work an average of like 12 hours a day. When you look at my Trello board every day, like an average. It's an average. You got to put in the work first. And then we talk about you take a one-off weekend or a day or whatever, and you go do whatever, you hang out with a friend. So just want to put that out there because I feel like a lot of startup coaches and startup entrepreneurs are all out there like making up lame excuses on like why like it's hard. And it's not hard. Like I'm saying it's hard, but like it's not like it's bad. It's not bad. Just because hard doesn't mean it's bad. It's good. Mm-hmm. Work hard until you hit your first milestone. And then let's talk about personal life balance. In the beginning, it's going to be obsession. It has to be obsession. It has to be like you work on it without stopping. So, yeah. I just want to say that. So.
I love it. We have you on Armin's Instagram?
No, on Facebook.
Okay. Can we get someone on Armin's Instagram? Because I know we have comments. I can see them from here.
I wish I had like 20/30 vision.
20/30? I mean, I've got
30/30 vision.
I've got pretty good eyesight, but it's a little far for me.
It's in Spanish.
Is in Spanish? Oh, por favor. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's in Spanish.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry we don't speak Spanish.
No, that's all right.
Do you know Spanish?
No.
No.
Well, hola, ¿cómo estás? Yeah. Sorry. I could just sound like a... No, I don't.
No?
No.
Got
a little
it.
bit, but... So, how about you? What was your highlight of your weekend?
Highlight of my weekend was spending the day with my family. It was my father's 60th birthday last week. So I think during COVID especially, my family was like, you know what? Like we were almost always in different places at different times. My sister plays soccer, so she's always traveling. I was always traveling as well. So we didn't always get the time to spend family time together. So because of COVID, we were like, you know what? We're going to try to schedule family time once in a while to see each other more often and, really get to know each other better.
But, okay, so bringing it back. How many years did you not do that?
Many.
How many years did you just grind? Did you just work?
Like 5?
Like you moved away for almost a year to India and ran an entire company without seeing your family. Like you guys...
I've done a lot, yeah.
Nobody should be thinking about how to, like, enjoy your leisure time or pleasure time, all this stuff in the beginning of the business. It should be fun to build your business. I'm not saying you shouldn't be, but I'm saying you shouldn't be thinking about breaks and taking off time. No.
Yeah. They barely saw me before. You can ask them.
So it's like now, I think a big problem is like people that are building businesses that have no experience in building business, so they don't know.
Yeah.
Is they look at people at different stages than them
100%.
and they compare themselves.
Yep. I agree.
Like they'll look at someone who's 5 years into the business and say, well, look, like I pay a lot of money to learn from like super successful entrepreneurs, and they're like, I just spent the day on my yacht, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, but I'm not gonna do that because you just made $600,000 this month.
Yeah,
I didn't. So I want to learn until I get to that phase. Then I can maybe go and for a day and chill on the yacht or something. What I'm saying is I'm smart enough to know that their life and my life are different.
Yeah.
Right? So don't compare yourself to someone who's like 10 steps ahead of you or 20 steps ahead of you. It's the worst thing you can do because then you get lazy in advance. Like, Like, in Napoleon Hill, he used to talk about Andrew Carnegie would take half the year off.
Yeah, I remember.
He would
that
take
story.
6 months and go to like New Zealand or Australia or something, and he literally, you couldn't contact him for 6 months of the year, and he was the richest man in the world at the turn of the century. He was like in his 50s. he was 20 years into building his company. In the beginning, it was nothing like that. He was probably working 13 months of the year. You know what I mean? Like, you guys can't be like, well, the billionaires. No, they don't. Like, you can't do that now. Focus on your business until it gets to such a level that you can do that. And so only you'll know that, by the way. So let's hop into the first question. Let's get into some value here.
Do it. So in today's age, do I need an email list? That question is from Amelia B.
Yes.
Yes.
You need a list. If you don't have an email list, it depends on your business, obviously. If you're building, I'm hoping you're talking about a coaching business. You don't have a business until you have a list. Does it have to just be an email list? I would say yes, anyways. Because an email list is something you own. It's easy to build, and the highest earning and highest paid entrepreneurs in the online space and in the live space is people that have an email list of hundreds of thousands of people, and they send an email out a day to them.
Yeah.
So email list is definitely important. Can you still make money and build a business around just a Facebook group or just a social media following or just messenger bot list? Yeah, you can. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, if you want to build an actual company and scale it, you need to build an email list, because you need to learn to email them a day. You got to use email marketing. All that stuff matters a lot. So yeah, you need an email list. That's my answer.
Yeah, I completely.
This is a short answer. Like, you need an email list. Start building an email list. How do you build an email list? Create something that's free that you can give away, that's downloadable, and ask for an email for it in return. And we call that an audience growth funnel. And speaking to clients, when I help my coaches build, my students build their coaching business, I actually give them my funnel. Like, I give them an audience growth funnel. I give them a lead magnet template. I give them everything they need to build an audience by building an email list. But if you're not in my program, then what you need to do is just create something you can give away for free that's valuable, but also will prime your audience to want to pay you, for what you do, and give it away for free in exchange for emails. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the answer. It doesn't need
No,
Next question.
It's a straight answer. Next question. I'm getting targeted by your ads, and I love them. How do I make captivating ads on Instagram and Facebook?
Well, first of all, thank you.
That question is from Thomas P.
Yeah, man. How
does he make captivating ads for Instagram and Facebook?
First of all, the captivation has nothing to do with the ad. It has to do with you. So, performance in videos or in my best ads, by the way, are not even a video of me. They're a picture of me. So making captivating ads, it has to do with like the hook in the first line of the copy and the picture. And in videos, it's about you. It's about having energy. Like, I'm gonna film 5 new ads today again. And so what I do is I'll probably jump and get my energy up, and like I'll start midway in like energy instead of most people will take a video and you'll hit record and then they go, hey everybody, and there's a delay there. What I do, I have a little hack here. I have a little secret here. What I do is I actually talk and then I hit record and go into it. So when this video starts, the ad video starts, I'm already in the middle of speaking as if we just started talking.
Yeah.
As if we were already talking. So it'll be like I'll be like, all you need is, yeah, guys, look, all you need to do, and then I'll press record, you know what I mean, in the middle of that. So it's about performance. Think about tonality. When you're on video, you want to fluctuate your voice. If you just sound like this the whole time and it's always monotone and you never sound different because you really need to buy my system, and you're going to sound very boring if it's always monotone. Fluctuation with your voice, or inflection in acting they call it, is the ability to use speed, tempo, tone of voice, and pitch to gain attention and keep attention and engagement. So if I'm telling a story in an ad, I'll be like, are you a coach right now who needs to get more coaching clients but doesn't know what they're really doing? Listen to me right now. I want to tell you a story. 3 years ago, when I started, I was a broke coach. And what do I mean by broke coach? See how many times I just fluctuated from whisper voice to yelling voice, using my hands?
Yep.
Like, it was all fluctuation. When you do that, you captivate an audience. So, I'm going to make 5 new ads today, and when I hit you with them, you can see and learn, okay? So it's like acting. when you're a marketer, you're always acting. Like you're a performer.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But that's how you create it. And it says on Instagram and Facebook. It's the same ad anyways, Instagram and Facebook. How to run ads, I can't really answer that on a call again, but that's a technical question.
Yeah.
In speaking in clients, we give our coaches like ad training and like how to do everything, but I don't know how to answer that without showing my screen to you and showing the dashboard. So, but if you want to record good ads, selfie videos are good. And a lot of hand movement, inflection, in fluctuation with your tonality. I think that'll be good. You'll make good ads. But I'll tell you this: the captivation of your ads, 10% of it is really your performance. 90% is going to be what you're saying, and the art of knowing what to say, like writing good ad scripts, is something you have to develop. You can't just get good at it overnight. It's something you have to get better at. Even I'm getting better at it. So for that, you hire an expert that knows what they're doing and shows you everything they know, so you can get better at it in hyperspeed. But other than that, follow the stuff I just said. You'll make good ads.
Even when, spoiler alert, even when we're about to record intros on the show.
No, don't spoil it. I'm joking.
Even when we're about to record intros on the show, Armin will almost always be like, okay, laugh or tickle me or something. So I'm like, ha ha ha, welcome to the show, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, for this episode, you're watching this on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell everyone to subscribe on YouTube.
Subscribe on YouTube. It's not too late.
I know. I'm gonna right now. I'm gonna do it, and Isaiah's gonna take it and he's gonna cut it right into the beginning, as if it never didn't happen. Now, so if you're on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button, that little notification bell if you want to get weekly videos on how to grow your coaching business or start it and become a profitable coach, helping other people. Make sure you subscribe. We bring out videos every single week. All right, there we go.
Okay, break.
So you're gonna edit that, right? Okay. Love you so much. So with our intros in CLEARTALK,
yes,
we always start off momentum and then we start recording. So I will look at her and I'm like, I'm like, I look at her, I'm like, look at my face. And I'll look at her and I'll go like this, and I'll make the face. She says, I feel like that, and I go, welcome back to CLEARTALK, and we do we do the recording right there. So both of us are already laughing when we start.
Yeah.
Now the problem is when people start, they start with stale energy. So they'll start like this, and they'll go, and Isaiah will be like, and action, and we'll sit here and go, welcome back to CLEARTALK, and it's so fake.
Yeah.
So fake. But if me and her are like, she starts laughing.
And then he starts.
Welcome back to CLEARTALK. See, right there, it sounds so natural, it sounds so fluent, and we're both having fun. So you enter the video with high energy.
Yeah.
You watch the video with high energy because we start in high energy. That's a really, really, really good tip, by the way, for video.
Huge. Absolutely huge. Yeah. And Thomas, I would also just recommend, you be yourself. Try not to sound like other people. Try not to mimic other ads. You can to an extent, but you want your voice to shine through, Armin you've seen Armin's ads, of course. You're targeted by them, but Armin's voice is very particular. Armin's personality is very particular. Don't try to go out of your way to mimic Armin's voice, sound, or anything like that. Try to work through your own ads and create your own voice and bring it through. You can model in some senses, but if you have an audience, Thomas, people want to hear what you have to say, and they want your authentic self to shine through. So try to bring your own voice, forth.
Whatever you do, don't sound boring.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't sound like, hey guys, are you interested in real estate? Blah, 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 blah. No. Movement, sound, passion. Passion. People are magnetized towards passionate people, enthusiastic people. That's passion and energy. You don't have to yell like me or be wacko, but with your personality, at least look like you care about what you're talking about. At least look and sound like you're passionate about what you do. Yeah. Guys, hey, what's up everyone? Are you interested in real estate? I just want to know quickly right now, if you don't, you just look like you care. You care. You look like, it sounds like you actually want to do this. And people will get drawn to you because you really want to do this. Does that make sense? What's the next question?
Next question. So, I'm learning that multitasking hasn't been helping me. How do I focus on specific things at a time? Do you have any project management tips? That question is from Alex Candor.
Make a list of the top 5 things you need to get done. And prioritize the most important and greatest to least, most important to least important. Start working on the first one, and do not go to the second one until the first one's done. There you go. Do not go to the second thing on the list until the first one is completely done and done well. That's it. Multitasking doesn't work because it doesn't work, not because you don't work, because it doesn't work. It makes no sense. It's biologically impossible for your brain to be split into multiple different places and do the best performance it can, because if you only have 100% of focus, of capacity, and you're splitting it in two, by default, you're giving 50% to both. You can't give 100% to both. That makes no mathematical sense. So just from logic alone, you only have half of your effort and time and focus going into one thing at a time. You'll never be the person who's focused purely on one thing at a time if you try to do that thing and other things at the same time. You know, it's like it's like driving. Like, you'll never beat a driver in a race if you're on your phone while you're driving. The person who's fully engaged, they'll drive better than you. They'll beat you in a race. You know what I mean? Like, you can't try to do multiple things at once. So focus. You got to learn to focus. It's not focus. I'm giving you a tip on how to organize your tasks, but there is no shortcut to how to focus better. Just do it. Focus in and of itself is the thing you need to do. Do that, like one thing at a time. And you know, another more deeper like method you could use is, you know, I want to call it like a deep work day. Take one day and just work on one thing until you've mastered it. So if you run a business and you have to really get good, for example, on ads, spend a whole day, do nothing else from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. Just spend time reading, learning, and doing ads. And you will get ahead faster than everybody else who's trying to do 12 things that day. Everybody else. And you know what's crazy? There's an illusion. The illusion is that if they do one thing until it's done, that they're slow. That's slowing things down. They think, oh, but if I take a whole day to do everything, I need to do one thing at a time. It'll take me 2 weeks.
Yeah.
This is an illusion. It's a myth, because that's actually faster. Because if you try to do all 12, 5 things at the same time, it will take you not 2 weeks. It'll take you 2 months. So the illusion here is that if you do a bunch of things at once, it'll get done faster. That's a lie we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
It's a myth we believe in. As we're writing our tasks down, some of you have the habit of probably making a long to-do list and looking at it and go, okay, let me do like 7 things now. And like, you doing more at once slows you down. You doing one thing at a time speeds you up. So if you can just take a whole day to master one thing at a time, within a week, you would have mastered 7 things fully and completed it. Think about that.
Yeah.
Now you're ahead of the person who's trying to do all 7 things every single day, because that person will take weeks to finish it instead of 1. So the illusion, like I keep saying, don't believe that if you do a bunch of things at once, it's better. It's not productive, because your brain's capacity, your efficiency is going partially into each thing. If you just focus on one thing at a time, within a week or 2, you'll have everything done. Like everything. You'll get ahead of everybody else. So, like I said, it's like a perfectionist or an OCD thing. I used to have this problem. I'd make a list of like 12 things I need to get done. And I had anxiety because I'm trying to do 6 things today. So hopefully by tomorrow, all of it's done, because I want to do 6 things at a time. And I thought as well, if I multitask, it's better. Or if I segment my day, like 3 hours now for this, 3 hours for that. And I thought throughout the day I could finish multiple targets. But I'm a very simplified person. My brain's like, okay, today you wake up, you're just focused on this. I know how to get it done. I literally know how to get it done, because you got to factor in you waste a little bit of time here and there eating. But when I wake up and I'm like, today, all I have to do is work on my webinar.
Yeah.
Then all I do is that, and I get really good at it. And also, I allow my brain to go into flow state, deep work state, which is a very deep level of intelligence where my real creativity comes out, because I'm so focused on one thing, concentrated on one thing.
Yeah.
It's the power of concentration. So if you want to get more done and get ahead faster, ironically, you need to do only one thing at a time. Like, do not move on until the next thing. And so this is a discipline that every great entrepreneur has learned to develop. And you can look at, like, first of all, please, for the love of God, no one in the comments compare yourself to Elon Musk. He doesn't run 3 different companies simultaneously. You got to understand, there is management, there's systems of delegation for him.
Yeah.
He puts primarily most of his focus into one thing he cares about. The rest of it he maintains. That's when you have a system set up. Like, I have a very multi-dimensional business system set up. So I don't need to, but it's all working every day. I don't need to put my primary focus into every single part of it. Yeah. I put my primary focus into one thing at a time of the business, and it improves over time. And everyone here has their own primary focus. So, you don't, like I said, don't compare yourself to billionaires number 1, because they're 7,000 years ahead of you in terms of, well, they're like 7,000 steps ahead of you.
Yes, of course. Yes.
But understand that they got there because he focused just on PayPal until it became a $400 million company. And then he moved on to the next thing. Just understand that. So, and arguably, by the way, I could say he's probably working less efficiently now with 3 different things than he was on his plate.
Probably.
He probably did way better when he was just working on one.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that it's right, just because he's doing it, right?
Exactly.
So take a list of all the things he's getting done. Order them in priority, greatest to least important, and do not move to the next thing on that list until it is done. Fully done. And you're like, but Armin, some things take time. Yeah, so take 2 weeks to finish that first thing. At least it gets done. Mm-hmm. My message to you is this: if you don't do that, none of it will ever get done. I promise you that. Months will pass by, would have procrastinated on it and just feel like it's never ending because you're not giving it the attention and the focus it needs for it to be completed properly. I took 2 months building my online presentation right now, my webinar that's making us money today. 2 months, like not only that, but I'm saying it took that long because I was trying to do that and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
If I would have spent just like, if I put it on my list and I literally put a week aside to finish, I would have been done like 4 days. So I learned my lesson the hard way, okay? But I learned the lesson.
Yeah.
One thing at a time, you actually get ahead faster than anyone else who's trying to multitask. And like I said, the illusion is you feel as if you'll get more done. You actually won't. You'll get nothing done. Because your brain is, you're putting your brain in a position where it can't actually get things done. You're biologically working against your own self. Concentration is the power of your brain if you learn to use it. And you'll get ahead faster. If you finish 3 full things within 3 days, if you take a day each, you're ahead of the person who still has 30 things that they haven't finished since a year ago. I'm just being honest with you. That's actually how it works. And you do that long enough, days or weeks would have passed by, and you're like 20 things ahead. We're actually ahead because you completed them.
Yeah.
And everyone else is trying to balance all 20 for the next 6 months. So
Yeah.
that's my answer.
Completely agree with what Armin said. Especially love his attention to focus days or deep work days, as he calls them. Segmenting your days as well. That doesn't work for him. It does work for me, for example. Right? So a part of this process is, you're going to have to figure out what works for you.
Well, if you finish in like 3 or 4 hours,
Yeah.
then you go to the next thing.
Yeah, but some people don't. Some people would.
So I'm saying take a whole day.
Yes.
For people that are slower, like me, I'm a slow thing. But for you, you're quick. So you can get it done in 2 or 3 hours. But the point is, she only did that until it got done.
Yes, yeah. So especially like Armin said, like he's got a system and a team. Not only is he juggling a lot, but he's got a team who can assist and help in, right? So if you're also like a manager or something, or you're owning your own business, entrepreneur, and you don't have a team, then you need to be at your most effective. And that's only going to happen if you can either segment your days or segment your hours throughout the day. Important things always have to come first, right? You've got to be really, really good at discernment about what needs to happen today and what can happen tomorrow, right? In your business, it kind of always feels like everything has to happen right now, today. I don't have time to do it tomorrow, blah, 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 blah. That's like, that's very small thinking, right? Every single day in your business, naturally, there's going to be things you have to do.
Yeah, so you'll never end that list.
It'll never stop, right? Like you're walking yourself into an issue or into a problem by saying like, every day I have so many things to do. You really don't. There's only certain things that need to happen today, and there's other things that can't happen tomorrow. So when you build that list that Armin was talking about of most priority to least priority, you can use that list to segment throughout the day, throughout the week. And guess what? It's not going to kill you. Because as long as you get it done, that's all that really matters.
Now, I realize a part of the question I haven't actually answered yet, which is how do you prioritize what to do now, what to do later? I'll give you a method, how I choose what is most important. So I actually learned this from one of the business coaches I hired, and it's about focusing on the thing that moves the needle the most. So in your business, it's like, what do you do first today? So I already told you how to become more productive by doing one thing at a time. It's like, what thing to do first and second, okay.
Yep.
Prioritize in the way that if you do the thing that moves the needle the most, like makes the most positive progression towards your goal, do that first. So let's say I'm going to give my example as coaching business. Let's say I have multiple sections. I have my ads, I have my funnel, I have my webinar, I have my clients, I have my program, so the training that I give them, and let's say I have, what else? Email marketing, okay? So there's 6 different major parts of this business. I look at that and I go, okay, right now, my goal is to earn a certain amount of money. We want to make a certain amount of sales per month. Okay. Out of these 6 things, I go, which one of these things that needs my attention now that will actually get me closer the most? So I look at it, I go, well, my ads are the only thing responsible for bringing new prospects into my business. My funnel is responsible for turning them into an actual booked call. My webinar is responsible for that as well. So those are 2 different things, right? Because they're big things. I'm like, what's the next thing?
You said email marketing?
Email marketing was 6th.
My program?
My program. My training, I'm like, if my training is better, obviously I have better client results. If I improve it, results for my coaches, and then my results can bring in more clients. But that won't happen now. It won't move the needle the most, right? So I'm like, that is off the table.
And then clients.
My email marketing is also responsible for the list to get nurtured so that they can book a call with us. But if the list isn't growing, emails won't matter. So I go backwards. I go, okay, now if my webinar and funnel is, it can't convert unless there's people going through it. So I go back, I go, okay, I got to master my ads. I got to spend 1, 2, 3, as many days as possible only focusing on my ads until there is 50 to 100 new leads coming in a day. Until I get there, it doesn't matter if my webinar funnel or everything is going to work out or not. So I prioritize the thing that's going to move the needle in my business the most, the thing that's going to make the most progression for us. And many of you might waste a lot of time because what you do is you prioritize things that actually don't matter right now. And I work with a lot of coaches, so I see this firsthand. I have my students get on my coaching calls every week, and sometimes they're like, I don't know what color my banner should be. I'm like, how much time have you been spending on this? Well, the last 20 minutes only. I'm like, that 20 minutes is going to be spent doing something that makes you money. And it's just knowing to not waste time on small things that do not matter.
Yeah.
I have one of my clients, Daniel. Daniel, I was with him yesterday. He launched in 8 weeks his business, and he landed 6 clients. He did a great job. He was not a coach 3 months ago. He didn't even know what coaching was.
Yeah.
And we helped him get off the ground. And he literally every time he came in a call, he had another thing done, and it was done kind of unfinished, but he finished. He finished something.
Yeah.
It wasn't perfect, but he imperfectly took a ton of action. And I learned something from watching him. I'm like, everyone should learn from Daniel because even though it wasn't perfectly done the first time, he at least got it done. Yeah. He finished his webinar, and I looked at him like, there's so many spelling mistakes. He's like, I don't care. I just wanted to get it done. I'm like, he did. And then on the other side, we have a student that will come on and be like, this one word in my one thing is off. And that's the reason why he hasn't, started talking to people yet. Why? Why does it matter?
Yeah.
Go and put all your energy into one thing at a time until the biggest blocks of your business are built. And so for me, I'm saying I'm going to take a whole day doing ads. The rest of today is just all ads. And I'm going to make ads, and I'm going to spend 6, 7, 8 hours. And I will not go to the next thing until that's done well. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a whole nother thing and a whole nother thing. And it's step by step. I actually made a list of all the... You guys want to hear my list of all the days I'm going to spend?
Show us your list, Armin.
So I'm like, okay, so if I want to take a day for each thing, so a deep work day, I'm like, what are different parts of my business I need to spend the entire day on that I want to not be distracted, and I just work on that. Meaning, I won't even let my team come to me for anything. They have to learn to just figure out everything on their own on that day. They are not allowed to come to me, right? So, or else that defeats the purpose, by the way. The point of taking a whole day is isolation, so you just focus on that.
Yeah.
Or else, and I've learned this the hard way. I'm like, okay, I'll just go in, and there's nothing on my calendar, so I'm like, okay, today, I'm just going to do this. But I don't make it clear that I shouldn't do anything else. Yeah. I just say I'm going to focus on this. And I come in, and then we need eyes on an email. We need eyes on an app. We need eyes on this. I have to review things. And I'm like, this just took 3 hours out of my day, and now I'm off, and I'm drifting into the day. I'm like, well, I have 4 hours left. That's not the point. The point is you do not get distracted. That's the point of deep working. So I found a new method I'm going to try this time, where they really have no access to me, and so I only can work on one thing, and my phone won't even be available. So, and by the way, it's good for your team. They will learn to self-navigate without you, which always is, in my experience, has worked well. When they don't have access to you, they just figure it out, and it's better. So these are the days I'm going to take. So I'm going to tell you in my coaching business what parts of my business I'm spending an entire day learning on. So if you want, write this down. If you're running a coaching business, maybe these are the parts of your business you should be focusing on, because I prioritize it in terms of, it's not prioritized, it's just a list randomly. I haven't organized it from best to least yet. But I wrote down all the things because I had the thing, I'm like, what things do I need to work on? I have here improving my webinar. I want to take my webinar and I want to improve it because I've had a lot of progression since I last built it 6 months ago, and I'm going to add new things, take some things out. So I'm like, but the webinar can convert more leads because I have a lot of leads coming into my webinar every day, and I want to make it convert better. So I'm like, I can improve the webinar, right? So that's a whole day I want to spend on that. Just maybe looking at other people's webinars, seeing what that's like, and seeing, okay, what can I use here and use there? The next thing I have is researching competitors. So I have an entire folder of people that are in my field doing kind of what I do. I've never had the time to go over their stuff, watch their webinars, see what they're doing. Maybe I can learn things from the people in my field that are helping people that I'm helping. So I want to spend the entire day going through other people's courses and funnels and this, and just learn about what's out there in the world. You can't do that for 2 hours. It's not enough. You have to do it for me, I'm like, I want to spend at least a whole day, at least half a day. Another thing is learning ads. So I want to learn, master, and make more ads. Spending a whole day just focusing on how to make my ads better. Maybe I make a whole month of ads or 2 months of ads in advance sitting in one day. Mm-hmm. Then for the next 2 months, I don't have to worry about making ads. It's already made in advance. Yeah. I'm going to spend, it's a whole day of learning ads, so just improving my ad game, and then a whole day of making ads. So spending a whole day of filming 20, 30 ads, that might take 6, 7, 8, or 8, 9 hours, but I have 30 ads that could bring me in tens of thousands of dollars in sales. The next thing I have here is improving my program. So just sitting down one day and going through my entire curriculum, watching my own videos, seeing what my clients are going through, like seeing if I like, is there new things I've learned I can add in here, and taking out some things that might be confusing and looking at my coaching calls, the recordings going, well, I saw that these people had confusion here, so what if I add something in this part? And just spending a day mapping out everything about improving my program, a whole day, right? I have here improving my emails. We have like 2 months of emails set up in automation right now where if someone goes in to watch our webinar, for the next 2 months, they get valuable emails from us every single day. But I'm like, can these emails be better?
Always.
Do I want to delete some of them that suck? Maybe the messaging from our first email that when I started months ago that I built is different from now. So I have to upgrade the messaging, and it has to be clear on the offer. And then I have improved my funnel. And that's probably not going to take an entire day, but if I go through other people's funnels and I see there's new things I want to implement, I'm going to go through my funnel and see what parts of this can I improve? Can I tweak here? Can I optimize more? My point is, though, that's the, I don't know, like 7 or 8 things I'm going to spend a day at a time on.
Yeah.
So at the end of the week, imagine I spent a day on each of these things. By the end of that week, all my business, all the major parts of my business will be completely stabilized because I gave it enough attention and effort and focus to fix things and make things better. So that means next month the benefits will compound because I spent the time focused to work on that.
Yeah.
If I try to do all of it every day and like segments here and there, it would take me probably months until we fix one thing. Does that make sense, guys? So that's my list of things I prioritize on. I'm going to be working on a day at a time. So if you're building a coaching business and you're not focused on things like that, you're not building a coaching business. Because those are like all the major elements of my business. And we're running a pretty good business right now. So anyways, that's my fully fledged answer. Hopefully that answered the question.
Huge. Very, very huge. Can we get a comment check? Imad?
Any questions on the comments or anything like that?
No, just a hi from Sush Patel.
Hey!
What about my Instagram? You gonna open it? Thanks.
I love these guys. Giving us dynamics and the sound effects in the background.
That's Armin's.
There's no comments.
That's Armin's.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. It's okay.
What?
It's cool.
Yeah, okay.
Next question.
Yeah.
I'm a creative. How can I begin to really monetize and sell my art if I've never done it before? That question is from Nadia.
Everyone who's never done something, that's done something, has never done something before they do it. So go do it. How can you use your creativity?
She's a creative.
Yeah.
So I'm a creative.
So she paints.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Okay.
She makes art and she wants to monetize it. She wants to sell it. She's never done it before.
Okay, so I don't sell paintings. Probably, I mean, I guess we help entrepreneurs. I get it. Take up. How can I begin to really monetize and sell my art? So I'm gonna give you like a personalized idea, because I was with in my previous relationship, she was an artist, and I helped her like with ideas of what to do. So if you're an artist and you paint and you're good at it and you could like paint people, maybe find opportunities where you can use your paintings to create like results for people. So an idea was that I shared with the previous person I was with was to make paintings of people's dreams and painting them into it and then selling that for like $1,000, $2,000. I think is worth it because they can hold it, they can put it in the room and visualize. Instead of a vision board, they got a really professional wall painting of whatever, you know, of them. Now that's you finding a result that you can give a client. If you just paint about anything and you want to just sell your art, I think you're going about it the wrong way. I think, especially artists, they shouldn't just be like, well, this is what I do. Who wants my stuff? That's not sales.
Yeah.
It's selfish. You have a talent. Use the talent to help people with it. Don't use the talent to just make whatever you want and go, well, I want people to buy this. Now, if you want to, for example, if you paint and you paint to like release, or when you paint it, you look at it, it makes you feel better. Maybe someone needs that result to feel better. So they'll buy your paintings to fix that.
Yeah.
So if you want to sell your art, you need to ask yourself this question, or these 2 questions, which is the same questions I tell coaches they have to answer. Number 1 is, what specific result do you help people with, or problem that you help them solve? What does your paintings or your art produce as a result? What result does your paintings and your art produce for people? Or what can it produce? Or what problem can it solve? Mm-hmm. And then once you figure out what it does, like what specifically your art can do for them, then you ask yourself, how is it doing that? So I give you a very good example of, like I said, the one I helped, and in my previous relationship, I helped her with this. I said, if you can paint people's futures or paint them into a vision board or whatever, or paint something that anchors them.
Yeah.
I go, the problem you can help them solve is like a lack of faith, or the result you can help them produce is motivation, inspiration in their body going towards goals. So if someone has a goal, like an entrepreneur, and you were able to paint something for them that every time they looked at it re-anchors them to their goals and it helps them keep going, you're helping them stay motivated through your art. And your art is helping them stay focused because every time they look at it, they're re-anchored back. How do you do that? Well, if you are using art as the way to help them, the process to help them stay motivated, you're using the science of, like, for example, neuro-linguistic programming, which is anchors. If the person also learned how to visualize themselves with the painting and then associated all the visualization of their goals being achieved with the painting, then you're now helping them through your art not only create the motivational results, but you're also helping them learn how to use their mind with your art. Yeah. And an entrepreneur will pay thousands of dollars to have something hanging in their office or in their room so that they can be reminded of where they're going, because they do it anyways. They build vision boards and they put it up, or they write about what they want. The good ones, at least, the ones that get far and never quit. Yeah. So that's an idea I'm giving you. What I'm saying is, make sure you find the result or the problem you solve or produce, the result you produce or the problem you solve for people with your paintings, with your art, and then be able to explain how you're helping them solve the problem or produce a result. And then go out and talk to people that are potentially looking for that result or that problem that needs to be solved and offer it to them. Simple. Just start by offering it. Hey, here's what I do for people like you, and here's how I do it. And then I'm telling you, out of 10 people, like 2 to 3 or 4 will want to buy because they want that result. End of story. Just that alone has helped a lot of coaches that I've helped get clients. And I know it can help anybody get clients because it's the most fundamental questions you need to answer in any business.
So I have kind of a contribution, but I want to know your opinion on it. So in terms of being a creative, I'm not even just about being an artist, but say you want to make music or something. I think it's important to distinguish what you're doing for your own creative output and then what you actually want to sell and monetize, right? And that was Armin was talking about that in terms of if you want to monetize it. So for me, as someone who technically has a background of being a creative, and so does Armin, I think it was really important for me to distinguish what was for my emotional, like, creative output and what I actually wanted to monetize. So if you know that you're making art, music, whatever it is, just for your own well-being, to just get it out there, I think that should be on a platform or on a page where, you're just expressing. But if you do want to monetize, Nadia, and you want to take the next step, I think it's important that you try to build a community around the art that you're trying to create. Mm-hmm. So with what Armin said, it's really just building a community around this specific niche thing within your art that you can start to demonstrate and bring forth, right? A lot of the art that I buy, even if we're just talking about paintings, not even music or whatever, but if we're talking about art itself, art that I buy, artists that I kind of co-sign, have built a kind of community or an idea or a depiction around their art that I subscribe to. And based on that is why I'm like, yep, I support your art. I buy it once, I'd probably buy it again, right? Because it's a message or a system or an operative that I find attractive. So even just even in COVID, I was like, you know what? Looking at more artists and what they do. It's not like there's a shortage of artists by any means, like there is in any industry. There are many, 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 many artists, but the ones that I subscribe to, the ones that I put my money with and who I supported are people who are creating art that I resonated with. And based on that is how you want to monetize your art. I think it's important to segment them that way, because if you're making art just to create it and you're realizing nobody's buying it, that might be disheartening.
You also never tried to sell it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking to Nadia, but I'm also talking further than that. So, if you do, and maybe you've tried, maybe you haven't, whatever, and you're realizing nobody is buying or whatever, it could just be because you're just making art to make it. But if you want to turn it into a business, you've got to look for.
It's not about you.
Yeah, it's about them. It's about the audience. It's about who is going to subscribe to your art. So you've got to go out and find those people. You've got to go out and create different things within your art that are going to appeal to them. And it's not like you have to be married to this idea forever. Over the weekend, I saw it's a post about different company logos and how they changed from year to year. They did Apple and the ugly logo it was in the beginning to what it is now. And they did Nike.
A little rainbow apple.
Yeah. And they did Nike. And whatever you're pushing forth in your business today isn't what you always need it to be. So say you decide, like, I want to make art that's strictly based on puppies. and then you just draw puppies and appeal to all the puppy moms
Yeah,
and puppy
exactly.
dads.
Now you
And
can sell to
then
pet
you're
owners.
then you're selling to pet owners who are like, oh, I love animals, and they're like super aggressive about it, and
That's a great example.
and that's the market you appeal to first. But then when you've decided you're done with that and you want to appeal to a different audience, you change your art in that way and you bring that catalog or that category forward, and then you can appeal to a different audience there. So when you're thinking about you and your personal expression, I think it's important that you differentiate that between building an art business or getting people to buy your beats or whatever that may be for your art.
What most entrepreneurs make the mistake of is, they start a business out of a personal need.
Yeah.
Like, you should have a goal for yourself, but you do it out of your own wanting of something. It has nothing to do with helping people. And I get lots of coaches, for example, on calls with me that are interested to work with me, and I don't pick everybody. Like, I choose who I want to work with. And I got people they're like, I've been through a lot. I have this story. I got to tell the world the pain I've gone through. I'm like, none of that matters when it comes to selling and marketing, because it's not about you and what you've been through. It's about what has your potential client gone through and can you help them.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you in a real life example why this is a make or break difference. 4 years ago when I started my business, I would struggle to sell a $100 ticket to people to come to an event of mine, because the motive behind it was for me.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to have the feeling of an event and a speaker and have a seminar. Mm-hmm. I never thought about what I'm doing for the person. I did on the surface level. I'm like, I'm going to help you change your life. But on a deep level, my motivation was completely self-centered. I wanted to live my own dream of being a seminar speaker.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a coach. And it was a dream. It was like a childish dream of mine. So I literally scraped, it was just really difficult to just sell a $100 ticket to a seminar. My selling was so difficult because my focus was on me, not on the person. Now, I did want to help people. I didn't say I didn't. But it was secretly because I just wanted to feel like I'm that guy. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Fast forward to now.
Very honest.
Yeah, fast forward to now, I easily sell anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000 programs, coaching programs, because my focus is shifted from, I don't need anything from this anymore. Yeah. I've got everything I want. I love who I am. I don't need to prove something to myself or feel like I don't care anymore. Yeah. So my entire focus has been shifted to what does my audience need and how can I help them solve it?
Yeah.
And can I do that?
Yeah.
So when I get on phones with people I'm selling thousands of dollars of coaching programs with 1% of the effort I spent 3 years ago trying to sell a $100 ticket. That is a good example in real life of why I'm saying the mistake of focusing on your own need for something. So why should someone pay you as a client?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's not about you. You get your own personal output as a creative to do something, but that should be given. When it comes to marketing, selling has nothing to do with your romance with what you do.
Exactly.
They don't care. What they care about is you understand them and can you help them with the problem or give them the thing they want. That's it. We do one more question. Yeah,
we do have time for 10. All right. So, this is kind of another question that we've already answered. So I feel like I'm going to skip it.
No, that was the one.
This is a different question.
Cool. What?
It's different.
Oh, I already answered that.
It's just worded different.
Oh, I read that by accident with the prioritization question.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we answered that.
Yeah,
already.
we answered it.
So how do you prioritize what to do now and what to do later? I feel like
my to-do list never ends, and sometimes things slip through the cracks.
So I answered that because I thought that was the question of the last one.
No,
so we just answered 2 and 1 with the other one. Okay.
2 and 1 combo.
Yeah. What's the next one?
How do you interview people who want to work with you? We talked about this on a previous episode way back when. I
think someone asked me how can I get on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing as how do you interview people.
I mean, okay,
so I'll tell you how I interview people. Have I even interviewed people? Oh, I do.
We've talked about my interview.
Yeah. I've interviewed all of you. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Except Lauren. Lauren just kind of got an immediate pass in. Because the interview was 3 months of just me getting to know her. Same with Isaiah. Both of them because I mentored them first. We were already building a relationship. The interview was I would just watch them grow. But with these two, Imad and Jeanette, I did interview them. My interview was I'm really just trying to figure out a few things. Okay, I don't really care. I do not believe the traditional conventional method of interviewing because it's all bull. It's all BS. What are you sitting there? You're literally practicing to sound good. The person doesn't know who you are. A real good interviewer shouldn't take that as who you are. You know, if I'm sitting there, I'm literally dressed my best, I'm saying all the things that I know you want to hear, that's a terrible fake version of interview. So I ask real questions. I sit there and I go, you know, what's your goal? What do you want in your life? And I see if they actually have something they want to do in their life. If they're aimless, bad addition to my team, because they're going to come in and just be a drifter and like just want to get paid.
Yeah.
Now, if they have some vision for themselves in life, I go, what's your vision for yourself in life? If they have something there, I go, good, this person has some direction in life. I can work with that. The second thing I'm trying to look for is if they have a positive attitude about things. If they have a bad mindset or attitude, I don't care how good they are. Okay, I'm not working with them. So I'll ask questions like, you know, what have you done in the past? Have you worked with others before? And I'm trying to fish for a problem they had and seeing how they dealt with it. So I'm like, so did you work other places? Well, yeah, you know, I worked here. I'm like, and they're like, oh, I'm like, did you like it? Oh, you know, it's okay. You know, if they go, yeah, it was great. I loved it. I go, great. If they go, well, you know, my boss was like this, and I go, what happened? What happened? What did that person do to you? So I instigate them to want to bring out like some bad attitude they have about, oh, well, you know, like, and I do this with clients too, by the way. I interview clients to see if I want to work with them first. I have prospects. Like, you know, I'm like, so why didn't I work with the other coach? Oh, well, you know, that person just really didn't, blah, 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 and it starts barking at them, and I go, man, you're going to be like the same thing with me because you're the problem. You're the person who looks at things like this. So I look at their attitude. First is, do they have vision in life? Second is, do they have a good attitude? Because if they have a bad attitude, it doesn't matter what you do for that person, it will not work out. The third thing I think I look for is, honestly, I would say like those two things is all I need. Knowing that you have a definite purpose in life and they have a good attitude. Oh, the third thing, well, it's kind of the first thing, but I want to see if they have desire, you know? Like, I really want to see how badly they want to work with me or do what they're saying they want to do. So their level of desire matters to me, okay? So I'll close them away. Like, what I do is, in an interview, I'll actually convince them that it's bad to work here and see if they fight me on it. I'm like, well, are you sure? Like, I mean, you know, you're not going to get paid a lot in the beginning.
I'm having a throwback.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not going to get paid a lot in the beginning.
Yeah.
We're just a startup. And they go, well, yeah, but, you know, I see the potential and stuff. And they're closing themselves, eh? But I'm also seeing if they're agreeing with me. If they agree with me, they're not the right fit. If I say, well, you know, you do have to work long hours and it's not easy. Like, I am going to be tough on you on certain things. And they'll say, oh, okay. Like, if they do that, I'll be like, you're not the one for me. If they go, well, that doesn't matter. Like, let's go. Like, what else am I supposed to do? Let's get it done. I'll be like, oh, okay, this person's good. So I'll kind of I'm like, well, you know, you're really smart. Why don't you just go get a job here? What's stopping you from doing that? And I actually did this with Emad. I remember Emad came in with like a proposal and everything for his interview. And you remember, man? He was working at a place where he actually got paid more than you know, what I was able to pay him here. And it was because we're a startup. I met him like a year and a half ago. And I'm like, we're already getting paid so much there. Why move here? And he's the one who told me all the reasons. It's like, no, man, it's just money. Like, I want to do something bigger than just money. I want to build something here. I want to be a part of like this academy and work with you. And I said, are you sure, man? Because I mean, you can make more money there. And see, I'm trying to see if they're actually serious. Their desire is here.
Yeah. And
obviously for him, it was. He wanted to do this. It wasn't about money. But my point is, I would do that. So to summarize, 3 things. First is I see if they have a vision for themselves in life. Because if you bring in a person to your team that has no aim in their life, like grand scheme for their life, they're going to become an energy sucker in your team because they don't know why they're doing anything in the long term. They just know that they have to pay bills and make money now and like achieve a goal next week, but they don't think about being something in life. So by default, this kind of person will only take energy. They won't be able to give because they have nothing to give. So that's the first thing. And if they don't have a vision, I can't work with them. At least some type of vague vision, like something they want, a childhood dream that they want to achieve. Because that gets a person going. And the second thing is their attitude. If their attitude is bad, their mental attitude, like their character, the personality is hard to deal with, I don't care. I wouldn't even say that's first, like, but I look for that in the first answer anyways.
Yeah.
But if their personality is hard to deal with, I don't care who they are, what they've done, I don't care. Like zero exception. If they have a bad personality, I don't work with them. If they have a bad attitude, negative-minded attitude, I can't work with them. I just personally can't work with them. Maybe they're a good person somewhere else, but I can't work with them. And the last thing is their level of desire. And what I do is I tempt them to do something better or bigger or go away or do something else. I try to see if they actually want it or if they're just hoping that I'm one of the ones that give them a position. I don't take people who are just settling for working here. I take someone who actually wants to be in my office every day, actually wants to work with us, actually wants something from this. And so that way I get less people. Obviously, most people are not going to be like that. but I get superstars when I work with them. I get people that are serious. I don't have to worry about babysitting them. Everyone here takes care of themselves, and they're good to go, and they're amazing at what they do. So that's the three things I look at. I don't know if, Jay, what else? You've interviewed a lot more people than me anyway, so you should really ask Jay. What do you look for?
Definitely all of those things. I do start with, what's your goal, not even just within this company, but your life in general. Yeah. But then I follow up that question with what would be your goal within this organization?
That's good one.
How could you, as an individual, set a different pace for what we have going on? I think the first thing that people see when they come into a new organization is, what's happening. So one of the first questions I also ask is like, you've seen what we've got. You've seen our team. You've seen what's happening here. Do you see yourself fitting in an environment like this? Do you have any suggestions for how we can make this environment better based on your first impression? I try to always ask questions that aren't necessarily in other traditional interviews. So what's your strengths? What's your weaknesses?
I'm really good with people and computers and breathing.
I mean, I don't really care about that stuff.
But asking, do you see yourself fitting in here? Their obvious answer is yes. What are they going to be like, well, not really.
No.
I don't ask questions that the obvious answer has to be yes. I do open-ended questions, like you just said. What do you think could do better here?
Yeah.
Because now they're actually forced to be intelligent and think about that.
Yeah.
And actually, I'll say this. Sorry, I forgot that I asked a few questions from Emad and I think Lauren, from every one of you.
What?
This question is my favorite question. I go, if you were me, what would you do with the company differently?
Oh, that's a good question.
Great question.
You don't feel like that's a hard question to ask right away?
No.
Okay.
What the hell? If you can't answer that, you're not really thinking about this company. If you were in my position, can you don't make that noise again? Stop. This is weird. That triggered me somehow. I don't know why. Okay, so I always ask, I go, if you were the CEO, if you were me, what would you do differently? Or what would you do more of, or whatever? And they give me lists of all the things they would do, and I get to find out how deep their intelligence goes. Can they really do these things for me in the company if they were me? And I want to see how different we think, and I really get to know what they think about what they want to do here when I ask that question.
Yeah.
And I think another question, Iman, I don't know if you remember, I asked that one, so give me a list of the things you would do if you were me. And the other one was can you give me a list of improvements or ideas that you could offer that you would think would be a good idea to do as
right
this
now,
company?
yeah.
Yeah, so I think you kind of said that one, but I always end it with if you were me, what would you do differently? Mm-hmm. And I got to see if this person will actually be a valuable addition, or if they're just here to just take up space and kind of get stuff done because they have to be told to do it. I really look for go-getters, not just people who settle, people who take initiative, all this stuff. So.
Yeah, I think it's just really important to ask different questions that get people on their toes, especially in reference to traditional jobs. You've heard the same 10 or so questions in interviews your entire life, right? So if you're picking people to be on your team, you want them to think about other things outside of the box, especially if you are an entrepreneur or coach who is just building out your team. The first 5 people are probably the most important.
It's going to be your core.
Yeah, it's really, really, really important that you have, my brain is saying lieutenants or soldiers,
generals,
captains, generals, and really A players, in a sense, who are going to be able to allow you to get to the next step of your business. You're going to have a deep level of trust with them and understanding. They're going to have to understand you. You're going to have to understand them. So, don't take the interview process lightly. If you got to have a couple of meetings with them to feel them out, by all means do so. But always go throughout that process of asking them questions that really matter to you, not just on the surface level.
And really challenges them to think.
Yeah, because if you don't get those questions out of the way in the beginning, you're gonna regret it later.
And to end off with this, I would say ultimately what I look for is if the person is an independent thinker or not.
Yeah.
Can they think? If they can't think, I can't use them. I can't work with them. But if they can think on their feet, if they can think intelligently, think deeply, if they're thinkers, then I can work with them. If they're not thinkers, I can't work with them because they're looking to be told what to do and just really kind of get a purpose. And I can't work with that because that person will do as least as possible to get the most. They will never do the most as possible to get more than that. So Thanks for watching the show, guys. Remember, every single week on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, we go live on my Facebook, my Instagram, on your Facebook, your Instagram. So you go check us out. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at the Armin Chaffee, or on Facebook at Armin Chaffee, or Jeanette Oduro. Is that your Instagram?
It's my Instagram handle, yes.
Jeanette Oduro. So make sure you check that all out. So you can join us live, and then if you don't catch us live, you can catch us. Obviously, the episodes get posted every single week on our YouTube channel. So hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell if you want to get notified every time we come out with brand new, valuable videos. We give out free training for coaches now. We already have a playlist on the channel. You can go check it out right now if you want. Yeah. And we do Clear Talk every single week for coaches. And if you're on Facebook, by the way, hit that share button and leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. Let us know if we could, if you know what you loved about the show, and if you have questions. If you want your questions answered on the show live, then make sure you go to askarmin.com and post your questions so you can get free coaching on your business and in your life. Thank you so much for coming to the show again this week. We'll see you next time. Make the rest of your week the best of your week.